So, first of all, vielen Dank für die Einladung. Ich freue mich wirklich, heute hier zu sein. And as we established, we will discuss in English. Nonetheless, if someone would like to ask a question auf Deutsch, you can send them via chat and we will answer as well. So, first of all, I'm sharing my screen and please confirm that you are able to see the screen and you can hear me well. So, okay, I see the hands up. So I guess that you can hear me and you can see the screen. Thanks for the confirmation. So the topic of our webinar today is how do companies manage and reduce cloud cost. So first of all, I wanted to grab your attention by two numbers. Following by Gartner and Flexera reports, cloud infrastructure spends in 2025 was $723 billion US dollars, and 84% of companies citing cost management as the first challenge. And I really wonder is, or maybe have that topic also such high priority to you? And with this question, I would like to start the presentation and I would like to share some knowledge. So first of all, I wanted to tell you I'm Wojciech and I'm a member of SIBB by a little bit more than half of a year. I'm CEO and founder of Summit, and we operate in Poland as well as in Germany, in Berlin by Summit GmbH and also in London. I have an over 20 years of experience in IT and also in cloud, as well as I have a technical and theoretical knowledge in cloud and artificial intelligence. So I hope so everything what I will share with you will be valuable and you will use it somehow in your organization. And because this is SIBB and this is in Berlin, so I wanted to let you know that last year, I had a great pleasure to run your streets and finish the Berlin Marathon. It was a very nice pleasure to see the city from a little bit different perspective. And right now, let's focus on the agenda and let's clear what we are going to discuss. So because we are going to discuss about optimization cost, I wanted to tell you what the FinOps is, and I will define the statement FinOps. And after that, I will tell you a couple of words how the cloud optimization process looks like, what you can do there, and how you should approach the process. After that, I'm going to share some quick wins and low-hanging fruits. So prepare your notebooks and note something, because if you will find out some possibilities to improve your cloud, then you will be able to reduce your cloud cost by quick wins in next 30 days. And if you are a little bit more sophisticated, then probably advanced strategies will be interesting to you, and you will see what you can.
Wojciech? Cool.
Yes.
Are you showing your presentation? Are you going through your slides or?
Oh, I'm not. So that's a good question. Let me stop sharing and do it again, okay? If it's not changing.
No, it's not changing. That's why.
It was just the first one, so.
How it looks
now.
Right now?
Now it's working. Yeah.
It's working right now. So
yes, now
okay, so that's the introduction. And here we are in the agenda. Thank you that you mentioned me about it, okay? So FinOps, process, quick wins, and advanced strategies. And after that, I will tell you about some tools which you can use to optimize your cloud cost. And finally, I will give you 3 examples of the real organizations where we optimize some cloud cost. And I will find out and underline these areas which we improve. And as you will see, these areas repeat in every of the organization. And I expect that if you will select this, which I will enclose at the end, probably it will happen also in your organization, or if you are very mature, you will confirm that you are doing a good job. So I'm going to fifth slide. So if it's changing, it's okay. If not, let me know. And I'm starting with the FinOps, what it is. So you can obviously read the definition, but I wanted to say that FinOps is a culture and framework of the cooperation, all teammates in the organization. FinOps is about maximizing value of the cloud investment. FinOps is telling about appropriate cost management and looking for some revenue from every spending cost in a cloud. How it works and what kind of principles we can define in this area. First of all, FinOps is talking about collaboration. In organization, we can say we have a people who are a business representatives. They are telling what to do. We have developers who are creating a solution and IT engineers who are managing this solution daily. If they are working separately and focus only their goals, and if there is no clear communication, then everyone have an own goals and is blind on another people. If they will collaborate, then we have an opportunity to generate an extra value. Why? Because one of the principles in FinOps is not only the collaboration, but also responsibility. That every single dollar have an owner. And we understand who is a stakeholder of every object in the cloud, and the person know why we are paying for the infrastructure. And if you would like to talk about cost optimization and about FinOps, you cannot forget about centralization. So every major organization who is correctly managing the cloud cost centralized the cloud management as well as the optimization. And create one accountable person who is leading the optimization and creating responsible people for implementation of different tasks. And obviously, every major organization is creating reportings and routine which review these reports and react if something will happen, if some anomaly will happen, and make some decisions immediately to address all changes in the cloud infrastructure, to do not be scared because another invoice. And another principle in FinOps is value, because the value is showing us that cloud could be a driver for decisions. So we are sure that if we are taking about investment, about technical decision, we know what's the influence on the business as well, like in the IT world. And finally, FinOps is an opportunity, because if we have a model, if we have a good collaboration, responsibility, and if we know what kind of value we are able to generate, then we understand what kind of opportunities we can bring into the table to our business. That's key major principles. And all of them need to be used to have a success in appropriate cloud cost management. And how to optimize the cloud cost. I wanted to share our framework. So as a company who is delivering managed cloud solutions, we very often optimizing a cloud for our customers. So how we are doing it? When we are starting, we are doing a kind of a discovery phase. And I would strongly suggest you to do the same after our webinar if you would like to optimize something. So first of all, you need to do a resource assessment. So you need to understand what you are keeping in your cloud infrastructure. So first of all, maybe what kind of cloud you have, or maybe what kind of clouds you have, because very often companies have a different clouds. And it's not only the hyperscale solution, but sometimes it's some dedicated cloud. So it's worth to understand what we have, what kind of resources we are allocating and where. It's worth to describe them. So do a tagging, that's the technical description, but generally speaking, it's the business description of every component to understand for what the component has been created, who is an owner, and what's the priority and criticality of the component. If we understand it, if we understand the prioritization, we should create a cost dashboard to understand where we are spending money, in which cloud, which subscription, or maybe which tenant, which subscription, which resource group, to understand which components are generating costs, when and how much. If we map these costs, map them to particular business units, if we assign to particular owners, then we are able to start the discussion with them to understand better how they are using the cloud infrastructure. So that's the discovery phase. And when we have the knowledge, we are able to start the optimization phase. What I understand during the optimization phase. So the outcome of the discovery is kind of a set of observations and maybe recommendations. So when we have them, we can discuss with different business owners identified in the discovery phase about some optimizations. We can suggest some changes. So first of all, we need to discuss them and check the risk of change and agree when the change can be implemented. And finally, we are able to do it. And what we are doing in majority of examples. So this is resizing or right sizing. So assigning appropriate resources to the system and confirm that we are allocating exactly this amount of resources which has been assigned to the system. In plenty of examples, we see a situation where we are oversized. So we are paying for a huge amount of resources and you are utilizing 50%. Why? Because if some higher demand happens, we need to have resources. Or maybe you need to turn on auto-scaling or discovering of the demand and resize the system just before. So that's the one thing which very often we meet in optimization process. Reserved instances. So if you are sure that you are utilize your systems by longer period of time, because they are production systems, you are utilizing them long period of time, you predict some resources, it's worth to do a reservation. It's decreasing cost from 10 up to even 60%, depends on the cloud. It's worth to think about automation, which I will touch a little bit more later. So this is about adopting the cloud infrastructure appropriately to your demand. How to do it? I will tell you later. And after that, it's eliminating an idle resources. So to switch off everything what you don't use, or maybe just decommission it. That's the second phase. And I'm able to provide you a couple of more examples in the next slides. And if we optimize the environment, then we can think about the continuous process. So there is a phase operate. In this phase, we are doing continuous governance. So selecting an ownership or an owner who will be an accountable person for the governance and who will be responsible to review all anomalies which happened in our cloud. and who will be responsible for policy enforcement and implementation. So it means that we are able to set up some policies to understand what kind of resources we are able to set up in our cloud and what to do, or what kind of trigger will inform us if we reach some resources, some thresholds, and if we will go outside of our policies. So see, from the discovery by optimize and to continuous governance, we have 3 phases, which brings us to continuous operating and optimization process in our cloud solution. And as I mentioned, I wanted to give you some practical examples. So let's stop with the theory and let's discuss what you can do in the next 30 days to see the benefit from the presentation. So during different audits and optimization projects, I was able to identify some low-hanging fruits. So where we are starting and what we usually see in different organizations. So first of all, it's worth to check payment methods. If somehow you are assigning your credit card to the subscription in the cloud and you are paying by the cloud via credit card, you can be sure that you are not receiving any discounts and you are paying full price list. There are some options like buying the cloud via reseller, so such vendor like Summit, or there is a plenty of other vendors in German, Polish, and European market where you are able to buy a cloud solution. It's worth to check it because then you are able to downgrade the price at least at 10%. So that's the starting point, just changing the payment methods. So that's the first thing. If you are let's say, bigger organization, maybe you are an enterprise organization and you are spending much more than $1 million annually, you can expect that every vendor like Google, like Amazon, like Azure will sign off with you an enterprise agreement. There are different names of this program in particular vendors. So for instance, in Microsoft, it's an enterprise agreement. In AWS, it's a partner reseller program and enterprise discount program. And in Google Cloud Platform is cloud reseller program and committed use discount. So there are different names. Nonetheless, the same meaning and the same understanding. You are able to contract some spends and have big discounts if you are utilizing this enterprise agreement, but you need to have a high utilization. So 3 different payment methods, and 2 of them are able to offer you some discounts, and 1 of them, the easiest, it's something what should be replaced if you would like to think about optimization. So that's the payment. And after that, I would like to focus your attention on shut down unnecessary resources. So that's also a low-hanging fruit. Very often, if we are starting an optimization cloud cost, we are looking for these resources which are not utilized at all. It's quite easy to do it. It's worth to review all resources, check the utilization, and also not only the current, but also the historical utilization, and see, are we able to turn off these resources or not? And in plenty of examples, we can see such resources which we are not utilized at all. So then we can do the decommission process, and I will mention about it in a minute. And we are able to also identify resources which are not utilized out of business hours. So let's imagine that our organization is working from Monday to Friday. And during weekend, you don't need it. You don't need resources, obviously. So you can just turn off these resources during weekend. Or maybe you are not utilizing some resources after business hours. So from 5 to, for instance, 8 morning. So then you are able to obviously turn off these resources as well. So in plenty of examples, you can think, hey, I have an e-commerce store and I need it 24/7. And yes, you have right, but possibly you have some test or development resources which are used just during the business hours or just during the test of some functionality. So these resources can be turned off out of the business hours, and I'm thinking about such savings. That's the second part. And the third part, which is worth to consider, is resizing VMs. So if you are a little bit more advanced and if you are not using just SaaS solutions, but you understand a little bit more and you are using infrastructure as a service and you have some virtual machines in your cloud, then I would strongly suggest you to check the current and historical utilization. In plenty of examples, we are able to observe that systems are overscaled. It means that we are assigning much more resources than we expect and we need. And you are paying much more money than you should. And it's really, really low-hanging fruit to review these systems and adopt the current resources to utilization. And by continuous monitoring process, you are able to adopt systems to the demand. And then, because of such continuous approach, you are able to save money, obviously. So that's the third area, which can generate you quick savings. And last but not least is removing orphan users and resources. It means that we can identify totally unused resources. And I've mentioned about it a minute ago. If you are able to find out some resources which are totally without any utilization, then I would strongly suggest you to find out an owner. Owner is a person who knows for what the data and for what the system is necessary or maybe unnecessary at all. Then, if you are able to confirm that no one is not using this data and the data is not needed, you can do a decommission process. Decommission, it means that we are turning off the resource and revoking an access. So still keeping the data in the cloud, but no one is not able to use it. And we are keeping the data by 1 or maybe 2 or 3 months to check if someone needs the data. If someone is needed, probably will shout that he don't have an access, and then we know that the data is necessary. But if not, and if we are keeping the data by a longer period of time and no one is not needed, so then we can remove the data, but only after the clear decommission process and confirmation with users that they don't need it. Obviously, during the decommission process, very often we can find out a situation that someone that no one is not using, but we are keeping the data because of some audit or because of some financial expectations. So then we are able to decrease the priority of the storage where we are saving the data, or just turn off systems and keep them for the situation when we need it and then start off it. So I'm thinking about reduction of the cost because we are able to decommission or just turn off resources which are not necessary at this moment. It's worth to consider this because based on my experience, you are able to save a lot of money, especially if we calculate it in a longer period of time, like 1, 2, or even 3 years. So such activities are reducing total cost of ownership. So the total cost which we are paying for keeping systems in a cloud. If these quick wins satisfies you, I'm very happy, and you can let me know, hey, I'm gonna to check something in the chat. Nonetheless, if you are a little bit more mature and you already adopted these features, I wanted to focus your attention on some advanced strategies, and I would like to focus your attention of these 4 pillars of this advanced strategy. So first of all, if you are a responsible person for cloud optimization, it's worth to consider a reserved instance and saving plans. From based on different clouds and based on different strategies, you are able to decrease from 10 to even 60% of the cloud cost. So how to do it? Just a couple of words. And if you will be interested in, you can let me know in a chat, and I will, let's say, explore the topic a little bit more in Q&A. But if you know that you have some resource in the cloud, for instance, some servers, some PaaS solutions, and you have some resources which you are utilizing all the time, and time to time you are using more resources. So the core group of resources can be reserved by year or even 3 years if you want. But I strongly suggest to use it by 1 year. And you can reduce the price. And it's just, you know, an agreement between you and the cloud provider that you are gonna to use these resources for this particular system. If you will just book these resources, which you are 100% sure that you will utilize them, then you are gonna to generate a saving based on this part, and everything what you need, you know, more than these reserved resources is available to you on normal plan, and you are just able to extend a little bit more the resource if the demand will happen. That's quite nice saving approach, and you can create quite nice saving plans based just on this area. And if you are a little bit more mature, or you would like to be a little bit more mature, you can think about policy automation. So then you are creating FinOps as a code. So it means that you are creating a development code. This is infrastructure as a code, and you are describing your infrastructure, and you are able to automate some reservations, some savings, to generate more savings than normally. And obviously, I would like to give you an example here, because it's not only about turning on and turning off your instances, but let me give you an example from last week's, where my client will ask me, hey, are we able to optimize a little bit disaster recovery, which we have in our organization? He told me, hey, Wojciech, I really care about disaster recovery, and thank you that you plan that you will double my infrastructure into different data centers. So it means that his IT systems are stored in the cloud as well as in the different region, so in 2 locations, because if something will happen in one location, these systems will work also in another location. In this particular example, this client had some systems in Sweden, and if something will happen in Sweden, we will just run the same system in North Ireland. And the client says, hey, do we need to have exactly the same system in 2 locations? Are you able to optimize it to me? And because we use, let's say, FinOps as a code, or maybe I will be more precise to more advanced users, we used infrastructure as a code, we created a strategy that the client is able to accept that some systems can be restored in more than 4 hours. So they don't need a situation that if something will happen in Sweden and the whole cloud will disappear, then he will be immediately moved to the other location. He were able to accept 4 hours of system unavailability. So then we were able to clearly describe the whole infrastructure. And if something will happen, we are doubling the data. And if the whole Sweden region disappears, we have the same data in Ireland. Nonetheless, then we are able to quickly build all systems and upload and attach the data. So then we are reducing the cost tremendously. Nonetheless, we are not losing anything if we excluding this 4 hours, because that's the time for building a new environment. And if you will, let's say, create such policy, and if you will create such code, you are able to smoothly manage such infrastructure in a cloud and improve availability as well as the service maturity, and because of such code, reduce the price. So I would strongly recommend you to consider also such approach if you don't have such high expectations regarding to your disaster recovery. Nonetheless, I wanted to also mention that storage and data transfer, it's also an area which should be reviewed and worth to consider to optimize. So storage is a place where we are saving the data. Day by day in every organization, we are saving tons of the data. And normally, we are saving everything on very fast and very high quality storage, which is obviously expensive. And we are forgetting, or we are even not aware that we have different types of storages. And there is a storage for production solution, very quick, fast, and expensive. Nonetheless, we have also low priority storage for some test environments, or maybe for some environments and data which is not used every day. And we also have some archive storage, which is the cheapest one and the slowest, obviously. But if we are using data time to time, so maybe it's worth to wait a second or two longer, but reduce the price to half, for instance. So it's worth to think about the storage management, as well as it's worth to check and think about data transfer. Because, my dear, if you are sending a data to cloud, it's free. But if you are taking a data outside of the cloud, you are paying for that. You are paying for data transfer. It's worth to check how you are paying, when you are paying, for what amount of data. It's worth to appropriately manage this data transfer, because if you will analyze it in your cost dashboard, very often it's taking a lot of money and is quite high percentage of the total utilization. And last but not least, the topic which is right now on the mouth of almost everyone is AI. Plenty of different companies is using AI, and for AI solutions, we need GPU. So that's CPUs dedicated to graphical and AI performance. And these resources are generating tons of different utilization and cost a lot of money, as well as whole Gen AI workloads, which can generate you a lot of cost, because we are using different tokens, and these tokens are paid by packages. And if you are asking just a simple prompt to your AI chatbot, you are allocating some resources and you have particular unit costing. It's worth to review this and optimize, because plenty of companies are spending a lot of money just for simple chatbots. And if you will optimize these streams which you are running in the AI area, then you are able to optimize the cost.
Wojciech, time?
Yes?
Time, please. No, last 3 minutes.
Of course. So we have different tools to manage the cloud cost. You can, on the left, you can see names of different software, and you can see key differentiators, because different tools can have a different solution, but very often it's worth to start with audit, which can help you to implement quick wins and identify the best approach and the best software which you can help you to optimize your cloud cost. If you would like to know a little bit more or hear about different case studies and the benchmark, I would strongly suggest you to review this slide and see what we are able to identify in the majority of companies. And as I said at the beginning, plenty of different examples repeat everywhere. So maybe it's worth to start with identification of these features in your cloud to optimize your cost. If you will have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them. And I would like to leave you with key takeaways like team awareness. So build an awareness of cloud cost in your organization, not only in the business area, but also in the technical and development one. Check payment methods and take an audit. It could be even free audit because very often companies like our is charging only if finding savings. So use this advantage because this is win-win for everyone because you are paying only for savings. So then you are able to optimize your environment. And right now I'm finishing my speech and I'm open for your questions.
Yes, please. Are there any questions?
I cannot see the, let me go back. I cannot see the chat, but if there is any question, Denise.
I will read them, no worries. But at the moment, I guess there are no questions.
If you'll have any questions after, you can send me the question via email. Maybe, yes. Maria, do you mind if I will ask you to put my email into the chat because I'm not able to do it when I'm a presenter, and then everyone will be able to contact me directly.
Mm. Yeah, Maria also put her email address in there, so.
Oh, I know, I found this. Okay, thank you.
So as a feedback, no question from my side. Adam Bolchuk, a good presentation project. Need to jump to another meeting. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, I guess that's it. Thank you, Wojciech. Thank you for the insight. And yes, if you have any further question, please reach out to Wojciech or Maria, or if you have question to SIBB, just you can also get back to me as well. So thank you and have a nice rest of week for everyone.
Thank you for your time. I hope so it was a valuable time to you and
totally. Thank you. It was totally new field for me as well. So
Dennis, I hope so. It is also something what will help also to SIBB. So if you have any questions, just contact me and thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So bye everyone.